All right, Joanna, we're going to start with your freestyle from the underwater view. And as you're moving forward here, you just see right there, you're kind of the classic distance swimmer with your feet. If I back up just one frame, you'll see your feet kick together. And this is, we really want our hips and our kick to be so that they're side by side. So instead of crossed like they are right now, kicking each other, I think that's one of the inefficient things that you have going on with your freestyle. I'd like to see your hips roll with your legs rolling so that they stay side by side, so you're able to kick even when you're on your side. And then as we're coming forward in the video, you'll see that a couple other times, but here your hand is turned sideways, and I notice on the side that you're breathing on, you kind of drop the elbow as you're entering the water, and I'd like to see it stay a little higher as you're entering. And then when your hand is here, it should be palm down to the bottom, okay, as you see here in the way I'm drawing that. And yours is turned out to the side as you're going forward in the pull. So if we can just get that turn so it's palm down, that'll be a better position to get your catch. So as you come forward, then you turn, and then the hand, because of that angle, I think is a little wide. So when we get on the front view looking at your hand is outside the shoulder. It should be straight in line with the shoulder. And one of the reasons for that is dropping that elbow and then turning that hand out to the side. You can see here as you're rotating your hips, you can see how wide your kick is, okay? And that's causing some of that crossover also. The legs are separated and being pulled apart as you're rotating your hips. Those legs should be in line with the rotation so they don't end up kicking each other. And like I said before, I think that's kind of a classic distance swimmer. You got kind of a wide kick and then kind of a two-beat kick. But we really would like to stop the crossing of the kick to get more efficiency and more power out of the kick. You're going to see the feet, because they separate so much into where your hips are, that the feet will again collide and cross. So again, if I'm drawing that line that I drew before, your foot is here and your other foot is here. So they're crossing over, you're actually kicking your feet. That doesn't allow you to really get propulsion from your kick when you kick your foot. You get a little bit, but you could get so much more if the feet wouldn't contact one another. As you're pulling, I like the way you pull, and you pull like a lot of distance swimmers, elbows high. You're getting a lot of catch from your arm, which is exactly what we want. So to the elbow down to the hand, you can really see how you're catching that water and pulling your arm and pulling that water straight back. So that is exactly what we'd like to see when swimmers are swimming. And I think it's one of the assets to your freestyle that makes your freestyle work well. You're pulling a lot of water, and I do like that down through the hip. You can see on the left hand, and I'll back that up a little bit again, as you're entering, you can see how it's turned sideways. So again, this palm is turning outward, okay, towards the sidewall. We'd like to see the thumb and pinky and all the fingers on the same line, so they're here, and you're pushing that palm straight in, and it's pointed towards the bottom like that arrow showing there. So, and then as we come forward, again, you're a little wide with that hand. I think anytime you do that, where you turn your hand to the side, you'll notice that the hand's more out here. I think you get more power, you get a little bit better catch if you're straighter in front of your shoulder. Head's in a fairly good position, could tuck a little bit more so you're looking a little more straight down, but I like the position of it in terms of how you're pulling. And then again, you can see on this side, just that high elbow, this nice forearm to hand position to push water. You could be a little bit maybe in with the hand so it's more in line. But you can also see right there that you're catching water and really pulling yourself forward. So all your energy is pushing that water back behind you and pushing yourself straight forward. So that's where we want to be in terms of pulling water. So I do like the way that you're pulling and catching the water. Just would like to see your elbows stay up and the hands be palm down, so the hands enter more in front of the body and not out to the side. And then, you can see your kick cross again. And that's just a thing that we got to really work on, is keeping your kick a little smaller and not getting so wide so the feet kind of get pulled together as you're swimming your freestyle. But again, I like your high elbow and how you try to catch the water, just so that we can initiate that in front more. And we'll see that from the front view. But again, you can see that. And you can just see, again, kick anytime you widen the legs and then the hips rotate. So your kick's here, and this is a pretty wide kick. So what happens is, as you watch in the next frame, as your hips rotate, it pulls your kick together, so your feet are pulled together. So you can't rotate those legs with the hips when you widen the stance of the kick that much. And then, again, you can see here, would like to see, I can see your eyes are more, they're downward, but they're a little bit more out in front. Would like to see them just a little bit more down and looking towards the bottom just a little bit more. Not straight towards the bottom, but looking about 6 feet in front of you. And then as we come into the turn, let's take a look at that. We'll get into the wall in the turn. Okay, good tight tuck. Could be just a little closer, because you can see how when we're a little further away, our feet will hit and touch the wall more down here, more in line with the body, so our push-off is a little flatter. And we'd like to be a little bit closer to the wall so our feet finish really high on the wall. And then when we go to push, we have already a position where we're going to push off more towards 6 to 8 feet underwater, which gives us a better push-off for the kick out. And then as we come here, hands get together, push off, and it's just a little shallow, but I like the kicks. I would like to see just a little deeper on that kick out, but that looked nice. Good breakout into your stroke. Again, a little crossing on the feet, but we'll continue to talk about that. Again, it's just width of the kick, but you can see right here, again, I like the way you're pulling water. Right here, this is really nice. Nice straight forearm into the hand, really catching the water very well, and I think it's one of the things that gives you the ability to be a good distance swimmer and continue to improve in your distance swimming. And if we can get some help from the kick, I think that'll help you quite a bit. We don't want to throw off your rhythm. I think your stroke rate is exactly what you need it to be and the way you need it to be for the longer distances. But just to get a little more balance for your speed and shorter distances and get a little more out of your kick, we need to get the kick a little smaller.